Actually, I traded a set of brake pads and brake rotors for the front of a Civic for this entire car.
What's up? I'm here with my buddy Chase, and we're going to talk about the, what do you call this thing? The Rat Civic?
The Rat, yes, the Rat. The Rat car, the Rat
So every
Civic.
car has a name, right?
Kind of,
and every car has a story, and this car has got to have a hell of a story because there's a whole lot going on. There's a whole lot to look at on this car. That's what I like about it.
Well, it's
so kind of take us through what you've done.
Yeah, well, initially I acquired the car. Actually, I traded a set of brake pads and brake rotors for the front of a Civic for this entire car.
What?
Yeah, it was just a roller. It didn't have the motor in it or whatever, and it was already all scratched up and scraped up like this. A close friend of mine actually thought he was going to teach himself how to do paint and body on this car. It never really came to fruition, and it sat in my sort of yard shop forest area for quite some time and rotted even further than it already had, and finally made the offer on the car, traded the parts, and put the motor and transmission in, and sort of here it is. And I guess I've had it for about 6 or 7 years sort of in this capacity. So
yeah, it's been around. I've seen this car years ago and it looked pretty much exactly like it does now.
Right on.
And that was at a Cars and Coffee. I remember seeing it years ago. It's one of those cars, like there was like Porsches and Lamborghinis sitting there, but everybody like walked past that because this car is just so visually interesting. There's just so much going on,
Sometimes I'll sort of pick out the Lambo or Ferrari or the biggest cheesehead there, and park right next to him and sort of rob his attention.
Upstage them.
Yeah.
So what really all the stuff, like all the stuff is on the car, obviously has been added. Now, how much of this stuff is yours?
Well,
did you put all this?
A lot of it, I of course physically put it all on, but a lot of people, kind of have something to donate. People, family members or friends, they'll get curious, they'll get into it and say, well, I thought you could use this on your Rat car. They'll come back from the store with something or from a trip. So it's always, something like that. And, you can't say no. I mean, it's from a place of the heart from these individuals. So, I'm happy to incorporate those things. And oftentimes when I'm out at an antique store or wherever I'm at, thrift shops, which I love, we'll find something to incorporate. So that's been really great. But the only thing that's really, I guess, modified as far as performance or whatever is just basically the suspension. It does have the JDM single cam engine, but I have my suspension set up so that it just protrudes there.
I saw that. There's like extended hats on the top of the struts, and it comes through the hood.
Yeah, and I did that on purpose so that it would be exaggerated. I wanted them to protrude.
Yes, and actually I'll bet this thing rides pretty decently with even as low as it is. Yes,
for what it is, yes. The back pretty much does all the work, but it is better than it was, that's for sure. And it's beat up. I mean, the ball joints and stuff, I haven't bothered replacing that. I just want to have all the fun with this thing and do a little bit less of the work.
Right.
So I got a few cars, and the other ones can get the attention while this
one gets
he's
got
abuse.
Like 15 cars. Let's just say a couple. He's got 15 other cars. So I imagine it's trying to keep them all tip-top is probably a lot.
Yes, so I feel very lucky to be here today with this one and have it to show. So
yeah, definitely.
That's a big part of it. There's a lot of effort.
Is this a factory emblem right here?
No, so a long time ago there was a company in China that was kind of making some custom emblems, and I ordered just a handful to make sure that I had some for the future. And I've been so lucky also that one has stuck there and decided to be a part of the car for a long time. So I couldn't get over how broad and exaggerated it was, and sort of had to have it. So
nice.
It's definitely one of those features that is going to stay.
Yes, the features, like I'm looking at this owl right here.
Yeah.
He's a little mariachi owl with a an eye patch.
He's really old. You get those at like Tractor Supply or Walmart or whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, friends, like I say, sort of gift things, and I'll try and stick them on there, whether it be a part of the owl here or some other feature, like I say. but it actually does have relatively functioning suspension. It works pretty well.
It's ratted out, but it's still dialed in too, you know?
Yeah.
And the wheels are shiny.
My friend Paul turned me a custom shift knob there that's, you know,
I was
quite
going to
drastic.
ask about that next. It looks like a beer tap almost.
Yeah, definitely inspired by a beer tap. And of course, he's in the Atlanta area, makes baseball bats and all types of really cool wood-turned pieces.
Yeah.
And he offered that, and I said, boy, I would be honored to have it in
Definitely.
there. It really set it off.
Yeah,
we'll use a little bit of reclaimed lumber on just like a Walmart roof rack, so you kind of mix up, you know, some of the newer components with the old stuff you can find. I've got my bindle, my hobo bindle, you know, handy because I'm ready to run away. So,
in case you ever have to move out, you'll have plenty of storage for all your stuff right there.
And I just put, you know, a new cylinder head on the engine, so this has actually only been running for about 24 hours again.
Whoa! So you're lucky, definitely lucky to be here.
I'm definitely lucky to be here. It sat for about 6 months in the driveway there while I played the race car game. So normally there's a couple of other trinkets that are on it to accentuate things, but yeah, today I'm just happy to have it.
Definitely happy to be here. Well, I love the car, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about it.
Time.
And this is going to go on the YouTube channel.
Killer.
So thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, I have to interrupt myself for just a second to mention something rather important. Totally forgot to say this during the interview, thought about it afterwards, and was like, you know how you always think of something to say, or you should have said after the fact? I probably do that more than anybody. So I really wished I would have mentioned this during the video, because I really have to give credit where credit is due. And that credit is to Chase building the lifted wagon called Scrappy many years before I built the War Wagon. In fact, it may have been 2 or 3 years before I built the War Wagon. I actually saw his car at H-Day 2015. And I can honestly say that if I hadn't have seen his wagon and seen how it was built, that I really couldn't say that the War Wagon would be what it is right now. You know, I kind of built it my own way, but his car definitely inspired me. And I actually should have mentioned that, and I wanted to mention it now because if it wasn't for the Scrappy wagon, I think the War Wagon probably wouldn't even exist. I really don't know. It definitely wouldn't look how it does now. So that influence definitely played a role in how I built the car. So I just wanted to mention that. And I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of pictures of the Scrappy wagon in the video here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. A lot of people that watch my videos have probably already knew about it, so it won't be a surprise to you. But I just wanted to mention that. One of these days I'll have a nice camera like all the cool people.
Technology's changed so much. I brought my Nikon and I haven't even brought it out of the fucking car.